What's up? What's up, y'all? It's Monday. What is going on? We're down here. We're going to talk about Insecure. And we are going to talk about, I don't know what episode this is. I think it's the 6th episode, maybe. I think it's the 6th episode. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Last night we had the review of the Housewives Reunion Part 2, Nate and I. We did our review. If you haven't watched it, go ahead down there and go ahead and watch it. So tired of people in my parking space. I'm so tired of y'all in my parking space. I'm about to put a sign up. Girl, I really don't like people in my face. Anyway, because I know they're going to be in my face because we nosy. We all nosy, I know. So, anyway, so let's talk about Insecure. Now, Insecure was cute because it was really just focused on Issa. We really didn't get a lot of... She didn't really much interact with anybody, but not any... not her friends. She didn't interact with her friends. That's what I'm trying to say. It was mostly just her. They open up with her thinking about the fight that she had with her best friend Molly. And then she looks at some Facebook posts of people saying how much fun they had. So she has this thing going on where she has something really great that she accomplished and she finished. And then on the other end, she has these thoughts about her best friend who she just got into an argument with. It's kind of cold today. It rained this weekend. Oh, y'all, last night I made these Buddha bowls. They were so good. Buddha bowls are like, I don't know, like a vegetarian type of, dish. But you base it with like a quinoa grain, okay? And then, well, anyways, I'm going to tell you, you can go look up what a Buddha bowl is. I'm going to tell you what I put in mine. I put in quinoa with kale and cabbage, and you leave that raw or steamed but still crunchy. You want it crunchy. So I like my kale crunchy and I like my cabbage crunchy, so I like put some olive oil on there and some curry powder and some pink Himalayan salt. It's really good. And just like get it all like like what they say, how to say it massages the leaves. Yes, and it's so good. And a little bit of lime juice too. Then I roasted some garbanzo beans and some sweet potatoes. Well, yeah, I guess they were sweet potatoes. They were light. They was light skin. They wasn't the orange ones. So those are sweet potatoes. The other ones are yams. I roasted those, but I seasoned those in some cumin, some chipotle chili powder, some curry, like this Indian type, this spice, but it's like a spicy curry. Some lime, a little bit of lime juice, olive oil, pink Himalayan sea salt, little garlic. I put some garlic on there, I think. Yeah, I put some garlic on there. Put it, and then I just roasted at 425 for like 15 minutes. And then I made a peanut dressing, like a peanut dressing with like soy. I made it with soy sauce, of course, olive oil, a little olive oil. Well, you could use sesame seed oil too, because that would be good. I'm just thinking like, ooh, that would be good. But so a little bit of olive oil, some peanut butter, some soy sauce, a little garlic powder, and just do it. You see what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing. And then you top it, so you layer it like, okay, you put your grains, then you put your crunchy, so if whatever green you want. So I put kale and cabbage, but you could do spinach, stuff like that. So any green, something that's going to give you a little crunch. And then I put the sweet potatoes, and then the chickpeas, and then avocado on top. And then you do this with the peanut sauce. It is okay. It's so good. When I tell you, it's so good. It is really good because it's like sweet and spicy and crunchy and salty and sweet. It's really good. It's so good. I'm just thinking about it. Okay, anyways. All right, but it was so good. So what else happened this weekend? That's pretty much it. Nothing exciting really happened. Let me turn my car off. I was trying to get warm. Okay, so let's go back to Issa. It's raining, y'all. You see it's raining? I guess, whatever. So she's having this, this this going on with herself, right? Issa's like, I'm having this great thing happen to me, and I'm fighting with my friend. So she's looking at herself in the mirror. She gets up, she looks at herself in the mirror, and she's like, her alter ego or her subconscious or her intuition, I don't know what's going on. It's her intuition or what, but she says, is it her intuition? I think it is her intuition. Is that her intuition, y'all? That's Issa's intuition. Is it? Who is that in Issa's mirror? It's her, but it's like, is that her intuition? Her inside voice. I think it's her intuition. Anyway, so she was like, should I reach out? And she's like, no, because she was wrong too. And you always reach out. She has to, reach out too. So she says, so what are you going to do? Self-care Sunday. And so she gets all her stuff. She starts cleaning her apartment. And it just was a vibe. She was cleaning up, throwing stuff. I don't know if she's throwing stuff away, but just straighten up around her apartment. Self-care, cleaning up. So she's, in the kitchen after she's cleaned up everything. She's in the kitchen and she's looking at her voicemails. Nathan calls her and do they actually talk? I think they actually speak. I feel like they actually spoke. And he says last night, yeah, they did speak. He was like, last night was really, really dope. She was like, I'm really sorry. That was not how I wanted us to come back around to each other. And I don't want you to think that I used you. He was like, no, because I wanted to help. I could help and I wanted to help. So no, I don't feel like that. And she was like, good, I'm glad, because I just didn't want that. Because Molly, to me, I felt like she used her resources. She was resourceful like shit. If he was a different type of person, he could have taken that another way. He could have been like, damn, is that the only reason why you called me, girl? And Molly, she really was beside herself. That was too much. And I'm glad they showed it again so I could get it, like, girl, that was not, you were really mad because Issa went past you. You said no, she was gonna fail, and you wanted her to fail. Is that the reason why you showed up? Because you kept saying your best friend succeeded, you're impressed, but when you found out she was resourceful outside of you, because if she would have went through you, she would have failed. But because she was resourceful and went quote unquote around you, to the person that you wouldn't even know Andrew if Issa didn't know Nathan. So she went to her original resource. Is how I flipped that. And you mad because she didn't use you. And when she used you, she would have failed. If she had used you, she would have failed. Who set somebody up for failure like that? That's tired and through. It's tired. So he tells Issa he'll hit her up later. So Issa goes to the store. She gets her a bottle of some cheap wine, some Carlo Rossi. Now listen, baby. Woo. Let me tell you something. I have so many memories of Carlo Rossi wine, like from being a younger person to like a year or two ago. That's some cheap ass wine. If you're having like, it's cheap wine. If you're having like a lot of people over, and you just want some cheap ass wine to just like, here, y'all just want to drink. It's really bottom shelf. You talking about Bailey wine cellar, and those wine bottles need to go on the bottom. Carlo Rossi, baby. I have so many memories of that. From other people who've had experiences with that it makes a good, now they have a sangria now. I'm like, go get a sangria and cut you up to make you a cheap sangria, cut you up with some fruit and everything like that. Go buy that sangria, put it in a picture, and put that, honey, it's good. I don't care what y'all say. I thought it was funny. Shout out to Carlo. It's a Carlo Rossi. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, so she's in the line, and this woman is in the line. This pregnant lady is in the line begging. And so Issa is coming across all of these different characters during this episode, which I thought it was really funny. So this pregnant woman is asking everybody in line for help. And she's like, she was like, okay, I'll help you. So all Issa was buying was the wine. So the lady puts all her stuff on the counter, and I thought she was scamming. I guess I was, the other ladies scammed her. That was so funny. I thought she was scamming. I thought it was going to come out that she was scamming, but it wasn't. But it was funny because Issa, when she went to go pay for the food, she's trying to do a good deed. And she was like, the energy that I put out is coming back to me and this and that. So they run her card. The shit declines. It declines. And then she runs it again. It's declined. She was like, can you run it again? Like, girl, I'm sure. Can you run it again? And she was like, it's going to say the same thing. It's gonna say the same thing. Let me tell you how when you go through the line and your card declines for whatever reason. I've had my card decline when, like, say you using it too much in a day and you go to the next spot and your card declining, and it's like your anxiety, it's like, oh, it's so embarrassing. It is so embarrassing. Has that happened to any one of y'all where you go to, and it, it could be like, where they lock your card up, or it could be like I've scanned the wrong card and looked at the card and like, because I have 2 red cards. So that's happened to me before. And it's so embarrassing, scanning the wrong card. I remember giving somebody my card for lunch, and I gave them the wrong PIN number. I gave them the PIN number to another card. Oh my God, it was a mess. So the lady said it was declined. So the pregnant lady who was begging was like, girl, this is sad. Forget it. Never mind. And so Issa goes, okay, let me just get the wine. That's all she wanted anyways. So Issa's doing her self-care Sunday thing. And before she gets there, she's driving there. She's going to Paint and Sip. She's driving there. She sees this man run in front of her car, and the bus is leaving him. So she goes and she looks at herself, and I don't know what it is. Her inside voice says to her, do not pick that man up. Do not do it, Issa. Don't do it. So she leans over. She asked the man, does he want a ride? And he was like, I don't do no Uber or the Lyft. She was like, but I am a Lyft driver, but I'm not driving right now. And he was like, okay. And so he was like, don't try anything funny. This and that. And so she was asking, where is he going? He was like, you asking a lot of questions. Just an old, grumpy old man. George, that was his name. And he was like, put the heater on. Then she put the heater on. He was like, it was too damn hot in here. He was just complaining the whole way. And I said to myself, he's about to give her some old wisdom. And that's what's going to happen. And he kind of did give her a little bit of wisdom. They driving around. And he goes, baby, let me tell you something. He goes, it's a lot of crazy people out here. And she was like, yeah, she driving or something like that. And he was like, watch out. When I tell you, I rewound that 3 or 4 times. Oh my God. Because I had looked down, and when he said it scared me. And then I looked up and he was like, no, I mean, you got to watch out for people out here because Issa swerved. Oh my God. That was so funny to me. I rewound that like 3 or 4 times. It was so funny to me. And he asked her, is a man taking care of you? And she was like, no. And hello, Crow. And then he was like, have you ever heard of Black Planet? And so she was like, oh, you was on Black Planet? He was like, no, I'm talking about this bar. Me and my dudes, we used to be up in there, And he was like, yeah, there's always a sign. That's what he said. He was like, there's always a sign that things are not going to go how they're supposed to go. There's always a sign. That was to me the wisdom that he gave her. I don't know, did anybody else get anything else out of his conversation? It was so funny. So he was like, pull over, I gotta use the bathroom. She was like, what? And he was just so demanding, just giving her, or just like an old man. You know how old black people, period, they just give orders. It's just what they do. They just give orders. So he sees somebody that he think he knows pushing a cart. He was like, motherfucker, that better not be you. I'm gonna call you when I get to where I'm going. That better not be you. And he was like, people, they go from the lower ghetto to the high ghetto, and they act like they doing something. Oh, speaking of the ghetto. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna even say that out loud. Anyway, so Issa drops him off, and turns out he's going to see his son. That dude at the door, he was like, Dad? And I was saying to myself, I hope that man don't. This is where my mind goes. I was like, I hope that man don't walk up to somebody's door and shoot them. Because then you would have taken this man, driven this man. You don't know who this man is. You would have driven this man to shoot somebody. I was like, oh my God, I'm glad that dude said, Dad, when he came out the door. I'm sleepy. Anyway, so Issa shows up to the paint and sip. It was cute, sipping strokes or whatever it's called. We sit down with Miss Kyla Pratt. Shout out to Kyla Pratt. And so it was 3 women. I don't know who the other 2 actresses were, but they were saying how Issa overhears them saying how they didn't bring any wine, and how could they not bring any wine? And so she was like, oh, I brought this, wine. She had a gallon of wine, bitch. So she was like, here, we could do that, it's whatever. And that's the kind of thing, like, if you having a big thing like that, bring Carlo Rossi, girl. Don't nobody really give a damn, because we really just want to have a good time, unless people are snobs. But you don't want them around you because they're boring as shit and they always complaining about stuff. You want people to be okay. It's okay. We can have some cheap wine. It's okay. All right. That's the time. That's what you do. You go buy you some cheap wine. Go get you a Groupon for paint and sip, sipping strokes, whatever you call it in the area that you're in. And then I thought it was cute. I was like, oh, Issa's meeting some new friends. I was like, okay, this is really cute. And so they were talking about their ride or dies and had their little stories about, their friendship and stuff like that. And she was like, we've been friends forever. That's why you guys are my bridesmaids and this and like that. So they started talking about painting and stuff like that, and having small talk. And I was like, oh, this is cute. Issa's meeting new girlfriends. I really thought it was, girl, they fooled me too. So they was like, do you want to go out after, do you want to go out after this for drinks? And so Issa's intuition tells her to go. Her inside voice tells her to go. So she was like, okay, let's go. So she's sitting down talking to the girls, and they're like, what do you do? And so they pumping Issa up, and Issa's feeling good about herself. And Issa was like, yeah, I'm like an event planner. Like, she really had to explain what she did for these people. And she said that she was a cultural curator. I was like, honey, I'm sure we're going to see that on some resumes. It's perfect. I create experiences for people locally so other people can bring business to people, bring awareness to local artists. So she was explaining that. I thought it was a good explanation of what she did. She was feeling good about herself. She was really like, oh, okay, I got these people. They were like, girl, that's dope, and this and that. They was really pumping her up, putting the battery, and you're like, oh, that's bomb, girl. She was like, I gotta go to the restroom. So then Issa goes, I'm gonna go with you. So they go in the bathroom. And it's funny because Issa was like, so girl, you know where to meet the dudes at and this and that. She was like, yeah, if you want this kind of guy, you got to go below. If you want a hood dude, you got to go below the 10. If you want an artsy dude, you got to go to Silver Lake or Los Feliz. If you want a married dude, you got to go to Pasadena, Altadena. And that was funny. And she started naming off the little areas. And that's the reason why I love it. It was cute because he was going down La Brea. And I'm from Los Angeles. So that's one of the reasons why I like watching Married to Medicine LA. That's one of the reasons why I used to love the hills. When I first moved to Atlanta, I missed home so badly. So I would watch the hills just to see like landmarks and stuff like that. Yes. And so I like to hear, little references like that, because if you're not from there, you're not going to know what she's talking about. So, you love the language of your city. Shout out to Los Angeles. So she was naming all the different areas of LA and around Los Angeles County. So it was cute. You want the earthy dude, you got to go to Leimert Park. Shout out to Leimert Park. Yes. She was naming all the cities, and that was good for me. I love that. Shout out to Insecure for that. I love that. So she's naming all the cities, right? And then she don't hear nothing, and we like, what is going on? So I was like, the girl's not saying anything, and I'm thinking to myself, what's happening? Did she pass out? Did she do some drugs? I mean, I'm going for everything is the worst. Like, girl, everything is the worst. I'm like, what happened? So she looks out and she don't see the girl's feet. Girl, I was like, oh, these hoes done dined and dashed on Issa. So Issa looks at there's a paper where she walks back. All the girls are gone. I was kind of bummed out because I was like, oh, Issa met some new friends. I thought Kyla Pratt was going to be on Insecure next season. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, I'm writing the script in my head for them. So she sees their, the scavenger hunt, the bridal shower scavenger hunt. And it says to befriend a stranger and then dine and dash. And so they got 2 for 1 with Issa's silly ass. So She ends up seeing them, right, walking down the street. Baby, I thought it was for real. I forgot that Issa be having those visions. But she walked up to that, she took that painting and hit it over that girl's head. She was like, ha ha, bitch. Well, I'll tell you, I was in there. This probably was the funniest episode. It was probably as funny because Issa Rae, this was probably the funniest episode to me because I really was hollering. I laughed. I rewound it a couple of times, especially when that man said, watch out. Well, I said, oh, they got me in knots, girl. So she confronts the girls, but we figure it's a vision. That was so funny. She sees the girls and she doesn't say anything to them. So she gets on the phone and she was like, I really need to come over. I thought she called Nathan. I was like, girl, don't go to Nathan's house. Please don't go to Nathan's house. But we see she pulls up to her mother's house. And her mom is talking to her. And, moms know. She was like, girl, what's up? Like, what is going on? She hugs her mother and she just releases everything of the day because like she said, and like Issa Rae said in the after show with her and Prentice Penny, she said that, every time Issa looked down at the phone when somebody was calling her, like she was going through her voicemail, and it was cute how she was going through her voicemail and they were like, it was like Kelli leaving a message. Who else? Somebody else left. Her brother left a message. It was cute how they did that. I thought that was really cute. That was really cute. And so she said that every time she looked down, she thought it was Molly calling her, like texting her to apologize for what she did. Like she really tried to ruin her thing just because it was just all like it. Molly was operating from her ego, like all ego. It was ego when she told her, no, I'm not asking. It was ego when she found out you went behind my back, and you really didn't go behind my back because bitch, we grown, and you would not know Andrew if it wasn't for me. So I can go to Andrew. I'm friends with Andrew first, girl. That's my friend. I can go to him and ask her for whatever I want if she want to flip it like that. Shit, I got pissed all over again. She hugs her mother. She releases all of that, and we see Issa cry, and she's really sad, and oh, Issa. I was like, oh, Issa, poor thing. So her and her mom is sitting down talking, and her mom shares with her, how she was like, y'all was mistakes. Y'all was mistakes. And let me tell you something, as the way that it come, I think a lot of black folks like to practice formalities when in place of the truth. Yes, black people like to practice formality in place of the truth. And when her mother was honest with her and told her, yes, you guys were mistakes. However, she was like, dang, that's some earth-shattering information. She was like, it wasn't planned. I was terrified. I know what the hell I was going to do. But you guys are the best parts of my life. And I was like, yeah, things happen in people's lives, and not everybody was planned. Not everybody was planned. A lot of y'all wasn't planned, okay? And y'all just gonna have to get past it. But there was a divine plan. Come on, Erica. There was a divine plan, and you was gonna get here regardless. And whoever you shocked and whoever's earth you shattered coming through, you supposed to be here, goddammit. All right? Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody. Happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was great that she had an honest moment with her daughter, and she was like, no, you guys were planned, and me and your father wanted to plan a cancer, so we had sex. No, we're not doing, come on, this is real life. And half of y'all wasn't planned, okay? Shout out to y'all who was planned and whose parents planned you so that you could be born under a specific sun sign. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. So her mother tells her that she admires her, and it's always comforting to see a mother actually accept her daughter as a woman and then turn around and say, I'm really proud of you. I see the person that you become, and I really admire you. And I think that Issa, she needed that. She got a little bit from those girls. They pumped her up, but then she got it from the ultimate person, and that's her mom. And she told her, I'm proud of you. I admire you. She was like, you admire me? I thought that was cute. They had a real cute moment. So Kelli and Issa get on the phone. She leaves her mother's house. Kelli and Issa get on the phone. She's like, you trying to ignore me? She's like, girl, I've been busy. She was like, you called Molly? She was like, no, I haven't. She hasn't called me. She was like, girl, what are you going to do? Because you just not going to call her? You're not going to say anything to her if she doesn't call you? And Issa's like, girl, I'm always being the bigger person. After a while, I'm trying to tell y'all, after a while, you get tired of that shit. You get tired of being the bigger person. And when people understand that, now all of a sudden they don't like you. Now, this is the boundary that Issa is drawing. Remember, all season I've been saying Issa don't have no boundaries. This is the boundary. I'm drawing a boundary with you because you've messed my shit up. And this time, I'm not calling you because you need to call me because I didn't do nothing wrong but have a successful event, and you mad because I went around, quote unquote, went around you. So this is the boundary that Issa is setting, and we see she goes through with it to the end, and I was so happy. I'm sorry, I was really happy. And she was like, no, I'm good. She goes home, and let me tell you something. This last scene to me, second to the last scene, was so relatable. It was so relatable. She goes home, she rolls up, she sits on the couch, takes a shower, whatever. She gets herself together, she smokes, she gets on the computer, she answers some Facebook posts, and she just kind of gets this creative, almost like this creative vibe going like, I'm gonna have to create something because people are really asking for me, honey. And that's what happens when you spot a need. You create a service to fulfill the need, and you got you a business. That's business 101. Spot a need, create a service. Period. That's business 101. Period. If I don't tell you nothing else today, okay? I loved it. It was relatable. There's nothing like coming into your home and it not be a battlefield. It's a sanctuary. It's a safe place. You can vibe out. You can go. You could do whatever you want to do. You don't have nobody around you talking, saying nothing. Issa gets the munchies. She goes to get some Ethiopian food over there out for Fairfax, and she says she sees Molly. She walks up, she sees Molly. Molly is sitting there laughing on her phone. Girl, why aren't you sad like me? Why aren't you crying like me? Every time I look down at this phone, I thought it was you calling me to actually apologize to me. And why you sitting there laughing and kikiing like your day is nothing wrong with what you did? So Issa turns around, she gets back in her car, she goes home. Shout out to Issa. I was proud of that moment. I'm like, there's the boundary. There's the boundary. Because she could have walked in and confronted the situation. But no, you sitting there on your phone thinking, laughing and kikiing and stuff. And who you texting, girl? When you should be texting me apologizing. So since you ain't thinking about me, I'm not going to be the better person and holler at you. You should be sad and you should be depressed and you should feel bad that you ruined my event. And you should feel even worse because you tried to create a hurdle so I could fail. So fuck Molly. That's all I got to say about that. Take care of each other and protect your energy. Peace.